Welcome to the Cup of Joe Wrestling Show.
Cup of Joe Wrestling Show?
With Joey Harris. A podcast for the wrestling fan on the go. So take your favorite beverage of choice and join Joey as he takes a look at some of the biggest shows on the WWE Network.
Welcome to the Cup of Joe Wrestling Show. I'm your host, Joey Harris, and we are broadcasting from makeshift studios in the shadow of South Central Virginia. Follow the show on Twitter and Blue Sky at Cup of Joe Pod. Email the show at cupofjoewrestlingshow@gmail.com. You can support the show at paypal.me/cupofjoepod. I am on Cash App and Venmo at the Joey Harris. Of course, folks, patreon.com/babykangaroo media for bonus episodes of the Cup of Joe Wrestling Show, the Joey Harris Super Show, the Green Room, Book Club Baristas, and so much more. Just $5 a month for a lot of extra content. And back again this week, folks, and working on it, working hard at it, and some more big things coming for the podcast. And more about that as we go along over the next couple of months. But today we take a look at SuperBrawl V from WCW. SuperBrawl V was shown on pay-per-view on February the 19th, 1995 from the Baltimore Arena in Baltimore, Maryland. There were 13,390 in attendance. We start out with our intro. Tony Schiavone welcomes us to SuperBrawl. He, Bobby Heenan, and Mean Gene Okerlund talk about the main event. They show Vader arriving at the arena and speculate that Ric Flair was with Vader. Vader attacked another car thinking Hulk Hogan was in it. He smashes the window of the car, and somewhere Bill Goldberg is taking notes. Vader is then shown attacking the main event crew in a match that was going on the pre-show. Paul Roma versus Alex Wright. An infamous match for Roma's behavior and one that would get him fired from WCW. The fans are kind of meh about Wright. He gets in the ring and dances but gets jumped by Roma. He power slams Wright. They trade shots. Wright comes back with a sunset flip for a 2 count. Wright gets an armbar on. Roma reverses. This is clunky. Wright with an arm drag, and he goes back to the armbar. Paul Orndorff comes out to cheer Roma. Roma comes back with a forearm and a backbreaker. He hits a series of backbreakers. Roma throws Wright to the outside. Wright comes back, and Roma slams him in the gut. Wright gets a backslide but can't keep Roma down. Roma sandbagging Wright. He gets a chin lock on. He uses the ropes for leverage. Referee Randy Anderson checks the arm. It doesn't go down. Wright coming back. He misses the drop kick. Roma hits a flying elbow drop. Roma pulls Wright up by the hair. Wright comes back with forearms. Wright with a spin wheel kick. He gets a reverse crossbody, but Orndorff pulls Wright off of Roma. Roma confers with Orndorff, and Wright rolls Roma up to get the pin. Mean Gene talks to Harlem Heat and Sister Sherry. Sherry says the Nasty Boys want the title. They've got to come and get them. Bunkhouse Buck with Colonel Robert Parker and Meng versus Jim Duggan. Duggan gets a tremendous reaction when he comes out. Buck attacks Duggan right away, but Duggan fights back. He gets Buck down in the corner. Duggan with a hip toss. Duggan with a clothesline that knocks Buck to the outside. He confers with Parker. Duggan and Buck brawl on the outside. They get back in before the 10 count. Duggan with a front face lock and a headbutt. Duggan with an atomic drop. Duggan gets a 1 count. Buck hits Duggan in the throat with the bull rope that Buck brought to the ring. Buck stomps on Duggan's ribs, back and forth. Buck with a rear chin lock. Duggan comes back and they vie for position. Duggan gets a 1 count. He puts a chin lock on. Buck gets to the ropes. He rakes Duggan's back. They trade blows. Duggan with a slam and a knee drop for a 2 count. Duggan pushes Buck down. Parker tries to interfere, and Duggan grabs at Parker. Duggan beats Buck down in the corner. Duggan with a hammerlock. He rips Buck's shirt off. Buck with an Irish whip to Duggan. Duggan hits Parker, who had gotten up on the apron, and comes back and hits Buck with the 3-point stance clothesline to get the pin. Meng comes in and levels Duggan. He puts a nerve hold on Duggan. Officials come in to try to stop Meng, and Parker finally gets him to stop. Tony and Bobby recap what just happened. Mean Gene talks to the Nasty Boys. They say all they have on their minds is regaining the tag team titles. Grudge match. Kevin Sullivan with the Butcher versus Dave Sullivan. Kevin goes to attack Dave as soon as Dave gets in the ring. Dave beats Kevin down instead. He runs Kevin into the turnbuckle repeatedly. He hits some corner-mounted punches. They trade shots. Kevin throws Dave out and then follows Dave out. Butcher attacks Dave. Dave is trying to get back to his feet. Kevin prevented Dave from getting into the ring. Dave is coming back and forth. Dave bites Kevin. Kevin chokes Dave on the ropes. Dave fights back. He chokes Kevin. Kevin with a leapfrog by the guillotine, he runs Dave into the Butcher, who had gotten up on the apron, and Kevin rolls Dave up to win. Butcher is in pain on the floor. Kevin helps Butcher towards the back. About halfway back, he drops Butcher and leaves. The Spanish announce team is introduced. Mean Gene interviews Avalanche and Big Bubba Rogers. Avalanche says he knows Randy Savage and Sting better than they know themselves. Rogers says he and Avalanche are going to finish Savage and Sting. WCW Tag Team Championship match. Harlem Heat, Booker T and Stevie Ray with Sister Sherry versus the Nasty Boys Brian Knobbs and Jerry Sags. Harlem Heat looking all business when they come out. They yell at the crowd. The bell rings and the referee has trouble getting two men out. Booker and Knobbs start. They lock up and drive to a corner. They trade wrist locks. They trade shots. Booker misses a spin kick attempt and lands in the ropes. Knobbs knocks him to the outside and Sags attacks him. Booker gets back in and Sags is tagged in. Double clothesline to Booker. Sags beats Booker down. Sags with an elbow drop to Booker's legs. He gets a 2 count. Stevie tagged in. He beats Sags down in the corner. He chokes Sags for a 4 count. Stevie misses a corner splash. The Nasty Boys double team Stevie in the corner. Knobbs tagged in. Nasty Boys concentrating on the legs. Nasty Boys quick tagging. Booker tagged in and Knobbs attacked him immediately. Sags tagged in. Harlem Heat being brutalized by the Nasty Boys. Booker drop kicks Sag in the face. Sags falls out and Sherry throws him into the barricade. Sags and Booker trade shots in the ring. Sags gets a 2 count. Nasty Boys quick tagging again. Sags kicked out again. Sherry attacks Sag again. Double team to Sags. Booker with a chin lock to Sags. Stevie comes in and continues the attack on Sags. He gets the chin lock on. Sags comes back with a front face lock. Booker with a scissor kicks to Sags. He gets a 2 count. Booker gets a front face lock. Double team to Sags. And now all 4 men are in. Booker misses a fist drop. Sags with a power slam. Knobbs tagged in and cleaned house. He hits a double DDT to Harlem Heat. He splashes Stevie, but Booker breaks up the count. All 4 men in again. Sherry goes up top in the confusion and comes off with her shoe, but hits Stevie when Knobbs moves. Knobbs covers and gets the pin, and we have new tag team champions. Referee Randy Anderson comes in. He talks to Nick Patrick, and Patrick waves off the results and disqualifies the Nasty Boys for throwing Booker over the top rope. Mean Gene talks to Sting and Randy Savage. Savage says he's not talking. Sting says they've been chopping each other getting ready for this match. This was an absolute waste of time. We get a WCW uncensored ad. Flashback to what led to the next match. Blacktop Bully with Colonel Parker and Meng versus Dustin Rhodes. When Parker and company get to the ring, Commissioner Nick Bockwinkel sends Meng to the back. Rhodes comes out looking determined and he and Bully get face to face. Rhodes attack Bully as soon as the bell rings. Rhodes hits the lariat and hits some corner-mounted punches. Bully comes back and clips the knee of Rhodes. Bully stomps Rhodes down. He misses a corner charge when Rhodes moves. Rhodes with a side headlock. Rhodes with a shoulder block and a wrist lock into an armbar. Back and forth. Bully ran into the corner. Bully comes back. They trade holds and reverses. Even pace match so far. Rhodes goes back to the armbar, into a hammerlock. They drive to the ropes. Bully with a corner whip, and Rhodes comes back with the back elbow. Rhodes with a suplex. Rhodes with a sunset flip for a 2 count. Rhodes goes out and goes after Parker briefly before running Bully into the ring steps. Back in, Bully gets a clothesline off of a failed monkey flip. Bully gets a 2 count. Bully throws Rhodes out. Bully gets Rhodes on the ropes and hits him with forearms. Bully beats Rhodes down. He gets a 2 count. Bully ducks a shot and Rhodes falls out of the ring. Rhodes grabs Bully and runs his leg into the post. They trade blows. Bully with a suplex. Rhodes with a shot to the midsection. Rhodes with a series of shots. He pulls Bully's shirt up and pummels Bully. He hits the bulldog, but Parker puts Bully's leg on the ropes. Rhodes suplexes Parker in. Rhodes then suplexes Bully, and Parker grabs Rhodes' leg, and Bully pins Rhodes. It's the Bobby Heenan WrestleMania 5 move. Mean Gene attempts to interview Vader. Vader is intense here, calling himself a demon and calling out Hulk Hogan. Tony and Bobby discuss the main event. Mean Gene interviews Ric Flair. He gets a great ovation when he comes out. Gene asks Flair if he was in Vader's limo. Flair says he's here for the party. He talks about some of the wrestlers in WCW. He says he's going to be sitting at ringside. He then takes his seat. Big Bubba Rogers and the Avalanche versus Sting and Randy Savage. Sting and Savage with a tremendous ovation when they come out. It takes a while to get started. Sting and Avalanche start. They lock up and Avalanche pushes off. Sting gets the crowd into the match. Avalanche beats on Sting. Sting with a series of clotheslines but can't knock Avalanche down. Rogers interferes and then tags in. He knocks Sting down. He goes up top, but Savage stops him from coming off and Sting superplexes Rogers. Rogers is selling hard for the faces. He gets knocked outside. Savage tagged in. He arm drags Rogers. Rogers knocks Savage down with the right hand. Savage with a high knee and a roll up for a 2 count on Rogers. Avalanche tagged in. He knocks Savage down. He gets a 2 count on Savage. Avalanche misses a corner charge when Savage moves. Sting tagged in. He gets Avalanche down and puts the Scorpion Deathlock on him. Rogers and Savage come in. All 4 men are brawling in the ring. Stinger splash to both heels. Avalanche knocks Sting down. Flair taunts Savage from ringside. Avalanche drops an elbow on Sting. Avalanche misses a corner splash. Sting slams Avalanche. Savage tagged in and cleaned house on the heels. All 4 wrestlers in. Savage hits Rogers with the elbow. Sting crossbodies Avalanche into Rogers and pins Avalanche. That was a confusing ending. Flair taunts Savage again. They show Harlem Heat on the hotline. Tony and Bobby recount what led up to the main event. We then get a feature on Vader. Mean Gene talks to Hulk Hogan and Jimmy Hart. Hogan says he knows the power of Vader, and he knows that this is the final test. He says he is ready for Vader and tells Hart to keep an eye on Ric Flair. Main event for the WCW World Heavyweight Championship, Hulk Hogan with Jimmy Hart versus Vader. Michael Buffer makes the introductions. Referee Randy Anderson tries to keep them separated during the introductions. Hogan gets mostly cheers, but there are a smattering of boos. The bell rings and they circle each other. They lock up and drive to a corner. They push off and then do it again. Hogan slaps Vader. Vader pushes Hogan away. They circle each other again. Hogan with a wrist lock into a short arm scissors. Vader gets out and yells no pain at Hogan. Vader pummels Hogan in the corner. Vader with a corner whip and splash to Hogan. They go outside. Vader batters Hogan at ringside. Vader sent over the barricade into Flair's seat. Vader gets back in the ring. Back in. Hogan chops Vader in the corner and hits corner mounted punches. Hogan knocks Vader down. Big boot and clothesline sends Vader outside again. Vader back in and Hogan beats him down in the corner. Hogan tries to slam Vader, but Vader falls on Hogan. Vader with an Irish whip and splash. Vader headbutts Hogan. He knocks Hogan down. He punches Hogan in the head. Vader slams Hogan down and hits a Vader bomb and gets a 2 count. Vader chokes Hogan. Vader misses a moonsault when Hogan moves. It goes outside and Vader ran into a barricade. Hogan hits Vader with a chair. He does it several times before Vader goes down. Back in, Vader hits a choke slam. Vader slams Hogan. He beats Hogan down in the corner. He suplexes Hogan and gets a 2 count. Hogan hulking up. Hogan with right hands, big boot and leg drop. Vader kicks out at 1 and Hogan can't believe it. Anderson was accidentally taken out. Powerbomb to Hogan, but there's no referee. Flair gets in the ring and counts 3, but then tries to revive Anderson. Vader splashes Hogan, but Hogan kicks out. He sends Vader out, and Vader crashes into a cameraman. Flair comes in and attacks Hogan for the disqualification. Hogan attacks Flair. Flair and Vader attack Hogan. Flair puts the figure 4 on Hogan. Sting and Randy Savage come out and run the heels off. Flair and Vader high five as they leave. Hogan must pose as they sign off from Baltimore. We then get our end credits. Final thoughts. A good show that they couldn't figure out how to end. You can follow me on Facebook, Threads, and Instagram at TheJoeyHarris. If you like the show, please leave a review on iTunes, Apple Podcasts, or your preferred podcast app. I would really appreciate it. We can also be found on Spotify and YouTube. Just search for the Cup of Joe Wrestling Show and don't forget to hit subscribe. Thank you for joining me. This is Joey saying so long from the heart of Virginia.
The Cup of Joe Wrestling Show is a production of Baby Kangaroo Media.